What's up everyone, welcome back for another video. Thanks for joining me. If you're not subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, you're awesome. Thank you. Continuing on with the daily uploads here, we're going back to working on the 190E. This guy Danny hit me up on Instagram. Go follow him right here. He sent me a picture of his wiring for the Euro headlights. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, go watch the last video about this car. I'll link it up in the top corner here. Trying to troubleshoot my blinker situation. So the blinker situation right now is if I hit the blinkers, they both flash as if they're like hazards. And if I turn the headlights on or like parking lights or whatever, the parking lights turn on, but it also shows on the dash. So this is no good. I got to fix this problem if I want to get this car roadworthy at some point. So at the end of that video, I mentioned that I was possibly thought the problem might be the wiring for the Euro headlights because I took a fuse out for just the parking lights and the blinkers worked properly. I mean, I guess what I should do is put that fuse back in and check the other side, pull that other fuse out. So maybe we can narrow it down a little bit more, but I pulled the one fuse out. Oh no, when I pulled that one fuse out, the blinkers worked properly, but when I put the parking lights on, just the passenger side one lit up on the dash, which is still no good. And we obviously, since the fuse was out, we didn't have any power on the driver's side. So like I said, I mentioned that it could possibly be the wiring of my Euro headlights. So that's what we're doing today. So not sure if this is going to work. Hopefully this works, but we're going to go check it out anyway. He sent me a picture of how his are wired. He says his works perfectly fine. So we're going to go by that wiring. Top right, which is that side right there, is brown. Under that is white. I can't see if it has a black stripe on it or not, but he said white with black stripe. Under that is gray with a green stripe, which I do have. And next to that is yellow, which I do have. No good. Well, I mean, that's good because it's wired properly, but it's no good for my sake because these things don't work. Since that's wired properly, I actually didn't check this other side. And that appears to be wired the same exact way. Okay, so since that's wired correctly, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do a little swap-a-rooney here with the fuses. So I'm gonna put the fuse back in for driver's side, take the other fuse out, which is the passenger side, but it also powers more stuff than just the passenger side, which is kind of where the problem lies. Let's see if anything gets fixed doing that first. Then we'll just start trying to narrow it down, I guess, because I'm not completely sure what I'm going to do. I might pull out the side marker blinker thing here, pull the plug off the back, and just see if I could jump out a couple wires by leaving one off, because there's only 3 wires that get connected to the back. So I'm assuming one would be a ground, and then there would be 2 power. So one power would be the light for just parking, and then the other power wire should be the blinker. Not completely sure. We're gonna mess with this. So this is fuse number 14 is pulled, which is the right side slash passenger side. I guess for America it's passenger side, but blinker's working properly. But when we turn our parking lights on, obviously no good. That one's lighting up, and that one shouldn't light up, obviously. So that's the same thing that happens if we pull fuse number 15, which is the driver's side parking light assembly. Just ripped this fuse apart trying to put it back in, so hopefully I can find where I keep my fuses. I was able to salvage that. You just gotta, as long as the middle section of the fuse isn't broken, you can just fold the top piece back on. It's working, I checked it. But what we're gonna do, gonna take this headlight out because need easy access to the wiring. This tool, I love this tool. If you're new to working on cars, a lot of this stuff is pretty simple. It's like a big erector set. I know me personally, if I take something apart, I could easily put it back together most of the time. I might make a list of stuff like tools you want or tools to make your life easier when working on cars. So if you're interested in that, subscribe to the channel because that'll be coming in the future. Yeah. So just a quick glance, it appears as brown. It appears as if brown is the ground wire, brown ground, easy to remember. Going in the plug for the turn signal is a brown, and it looks like a black with white stripes and maybe another black wire or a gray wire. I can't tell. On the back of the headlight, you have a brown at the top, which is probably a ground wire. Then you have white with the black stripe, green, gray with the green stripe, and then yellow with the black stripe. I'm going to take the other side out too, just to check, and I'll be able to mess with it more. Another thing I didn't check was to see if it was working when this was completely unplugged. So the plug is out on both sides, so I'm going to go check it quick, see what happens. Obviously the front's not going to light up because nothing's connected to it, but I'll be able to see if the back is doing it. It might also just buzz weird because it doesn't have a bulb now. Let's see. Okay. So that's a plus. Got one thing. Let's see. So the sus button. Let's see. Passenger side is being weird, but driver's side is acting as if you just have a bulb out. That's what will happen if you have a bulb out. That will just hyper blink. Sometimes that happens when you switch to LED bulbs also, because it less resistance or whatever it is, but it thinks that a bulb's out when you switch to LEDs also. Might be a problem with the passenger side. I don't know. Now I got an idea that I want to try to see if I can make this work, but I also have to figure out which is which in here, so I'm gonna have to get my voltmeter out. This plug also only goes in one way. If you look at the plug here, there's this big blank there, and if you look on the plug down here, there's this empty hole there. So it only goes in one way. Also a good idea to hook this to some sort of trickle charger when you're doing stuff, well, especially like this, where you're going to be not turning the car on, turning the lights on and off, hood, doors, and trunk open at all times. It's a good idea to keep that charged. I'll link this one and another one if you want to pick those up. Use those links. Helps me out. I got the switch on, at least for the parking lights. I'm going to see which wire it has power, and then we'll figure out from there. So I'm going straight to ground. Let's just go straight to the ground. That's on the chassis already. All the other lights are going. Then we're just going to touch what we have. 12 volt. Nothing. And nothing. So, looking at this plug, this bottom one right there is the power for when you have your parking lights on. We could change this to continuity. Change it back on here. And then the continuity is you get a buzz. So we're going to do basically the same thing. Touch the ground. Okay. That doesn't help. I'm going to go check the other side now since these lights are on to make sure it's still the bottom. On this, it would be this bottom one that's by itself over here. So I'm going to go check this other side to make sure it's the same. Well, actually, the main thing I wanted to check was just that which one was the power. Let me turn that off quick. So the next step I want to do is figure out a way to jump this out, these two, into the back of the light without hooking in this power wire that's for the parking lights, or the one that we assume is for the parking lights right now, to see if just deleting that makes these blinkers work. Then we kind of have it half-assed and we'll get by with that. So I took this plug apart. There it is. Not too bad. You just got to, I'll show you on the other side, hold on. This is what you're looking at here. You just got to take a screwdriver and pry it there. This back cover comes off, then the plugs just pull right out. Not even stuck in there. That back cover is the thing that holds it on. So that's probably, now that I'm thinking about, that's probably why we were grounded out to all of them, and maybe that's why they were all working. Not completely sure. No, this is plastic. So that idea doesn't make any sense. I only did this one side. Let me go check the lights to see if it's working. Let's go check together. Let's go check this. So far, we'll check the tail lights in a second. So. Wait for this buzz to sound. Working here. Working there. Working there. Now let's just try this way. So those shouldn't work because we got that other plug in, but this is working. It's working. All right, so I figured one thing out there, obviously. If you look here, the plugs that are supposed to go in are in that nasty tape with foam on it is just to isolate it from hitting the back of the plug so it doesn't ground it out or whatever it's doing, but it's working. And one other thing I did notice was the back yesterday or the day before when I hit the turn signals for at least the passenger side. I'll show you which bulbs were blinking. When I hit the turn signals for the passenger side, that bulb and that bulb were blinking. So this one appears as if it should be the parking light, and then this one's the turn signal. But these were both on because we're having that problem. And then when we just fixed the issue, that was the only one blinking with the blinker, and that was the only one on with the parking lights. I think I kind of found a little hack here that obviously our parking lights are not going to work on the front, which I've literally never driven with just the parking lights on. I don't even know if that's going to be a problem, but there's still a problem somewhere. Let me think a little bit. So this is like a half win right now, because if it's nighttime and we turn the headlights on, only the headlights are going to turn on with no parking lights, which I don't think is really a big deal. The taillights work with the parking light. If I plug this, well, it's not going to work now, but if I plug that other thing back in, we're going to go back to having that same problem, which means something must be grounded somewhere. Unless I could plug this in now, and if it works, it means something with this plug was messing it up. Might as well try it. I don't remember where we left off here. So I took the plug, I plugged in that wire back in that powers it as a parking light, because I thought maybe the back of this was jumping it out or something, and we were grounded out, which I still think we're grounded out somewhere, where I need to find out eventually. But plug that back in, everything was working as if it was before, which means turn the parking lights on, all the lights go on, turn one blinker on, all the blinkers go on. That problem. So somehow, I don't know which side, maybe I need another one of those turn signal module things. I can't switch it now because I packed it up somewhere and I have no idea where that's packed up, because we're moving, obviously. So I can't switch that back out right now. So that could be a problem. I did notice when the lights were unplugged completely, when I put the passenger side light on, it would like buzz, and that buzzing sounded like it was coming from that module or maybe a relay in there somewhere. Let's see. So that could be another source of the problem. But for now, I think I'm going to put this plug back together without that wire in it, so it works. I'm going to put this plug back together and leave this wire out completely, because I don't know a way to get that to not work with it plugged in. Like, I might be able to put a piece of tape over this prong, but it's also going to make it too thick where it might not want to slide on at all. So I'm just going to leave that out, and then I'm going to tape that guy up, and then when we plug this back in, it's going to work. I mean, it's going to work. It's not going to work as completely intended. We're just not going to have any parking lights on the front, which I don't care about. That'll be in the long future. Maybe when we're doing the engine swap or whatever, we could dive into the wiring a little bit better, neaten it up or whatever, just to get it nice. But that's how it's going to go today. So that's it. Leaving it like that. It might not be the correct way. There could possibly be a problem with both of the turn signal sockets. Maybe there's a short in there. Maybe there's a problem with the turn signal module that's in the fuse box. That's something I'm not going to be able to check right now, because the other one, I don't remember if the other one I have is the new one or the new one's in there, because I remember when I switched it, it was the same problem. So maybe it's not the turn signal module. Maybe I need another turn signal module, because maybe the one that came was messed up. Who knows? But it's fixed. So this is definitely a unique problem, I would say. So if you're having the same problem, you could do the same thing, I guess. It wasn't hard to take the socket plug thing on the back of this apart and then just unpin that one wire for now. It's a fix. It's not the greatest fix, but it's a fix, and it's working now. We have turn signals, proper turn signals. So that's it for me for today. If you learned anything, hit that like button. If you learned anything, you could hit that subscribe button. Leave some comments down below if you know what the problem might be. I mean, I did kind of fix it, but it's not fixed, but we have turn signals once again. So that was a major annoyance for me for a while. I mean, I never really dove into it to try to figure it out other than ordering just the new bulbs and that turn signal module, which neither of that fixed the problem. So we fixed the problem now, and it's gonna be like that for a little while. Like I was saying earlier, for maybe when we do the engine swap, we will dive into the wires and try to figure it out. Now I guess I could order LED bulbs again, because if you saw on that little edit, the passenger side rear turn signal is LED bulb. The driver's side is a regular halogen bulb. The front ones are halogen. If you see with LEDs, it's a more crisp on off, which looks a lot better, I think, and they're also brighter. Plus, I could easily get the amber ones, so then at least the front and rear will be amber, even though we have the clear lenses. I will see you guys in the next one, which is probably tomorrow. Don't know what I'm filming just yet, but I'll figure it out tomorrow. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos. Hit that like button and leave some comments down below for me. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Share the videos.